This is Gilbert Gottfried, and this is Gilbert and Frank's Amazing Colossal Obsessions. Frank, of course, is my co-host, Frank Santopadre. Once again, we're at Nutmeg, and our engineer is Frank Verderosa. And
you're surrounded by guineas.
Yeah, exactly.
You just can't get around it.
Yeah. This is like. I
just want to do a little quick housekeeping. We lost a couple of people.
Yes.
This week, Robert Vaughn.
Yeah.
Napoleon Solo, who we had asked to do the show,
and he turned us down.
We're deeply hurt.
Yeah.
But we tried hard. He said everything I have to say is in my book, which we respect. We lost two great musicians, Leon Russell and the great Leonard Cohen. And this one that a lot of people tweeted about and put on our Facebook is Lupita Tovar.
Yes, she was in the original Spanish language version of Dracula that they shot at the same time.
That's right.
That they were doing the Lugosi version. And when the Lugosi people would be wrapped up for the day, they would leave and they'd bring in the Spanish cast and they would do all the scenes that way. Some people feel that the Spanish version cinematically was better. I mean, the Lugosi version, for the most part...
It's a little stagey, the Lugosi version.
Very, very theatrical. There are parts of the Lugosi version that look great, but it seems like the minute they started doing something to make it look great, it's almost like a studio head probably said, no, we want the stage version on film.
I think we talked about that movie with Joan and David. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
With David Healy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she died, Tova Felcia.
Yes.
No, Lipitor.
Not Lipitor. Lupita.
Lupita Tovar.
Lipitor.
And
it's the Spanish for Lipitor.
Right. She died at 106.
That's about right in our range.
Yeah. 106. I suspect foul play.
You do?
Yeah. It was either that or drugs.
It's like that Jeff Ross joke he does about his Nana dying in her 90s, and his cousin says, how'd it happen? And he says, her chute didn't open.
Yeah. There was, let's see. I forget now. But no, I remember we were thinking of getting her for
calling
the podcast.
her? Did she speak English?
Who cares at this point?
Yeah.
I said she was 105. What's the rush?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
she was the grandmother, I believe, of the director of American Pie.
Oh,
Chris
wow.
Weitz. Isn't that interesting?
And she was married. Wasn't she married to the son of the head of Universal?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name again?
Coner.
Fuck.
Yeah. I
think.
not
Coner.
Oh, you mean she was married to a Laemmle?
A Laemmle. Like Carl Laemmle's son.
Yeah. I think her son was Paul Coner, who represented Billy Wilder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is also good trivia.
Yeah, she was very hot back then when she was in the Spanish Dracula.
106. Missed out on her. And so R.I.P. Lupita Tovar and also Robert Vaughn.
And it's important to remember Robert Vaughn was also in Teenage Caveman.
Yeah, somebody on Facebook said if you bring up Robert Vaughn, in fact, he said maybe that's why Robert Vaughn was avoiding the interview. Gilbert would bring up Teenage Caveman. But also Bullet and so many other great movies.
Bullet was packed with actors
we talked about it.
That.
Yeah. And I want to thank quickly Steve Binder, our last two guests, Steve Binder and John Amos, for giving us wonderful shows, and thank Jeff Abraham for bringing us Steve, and Paul Baldessari for bringing us John. And I want to welcome Greg Pear, who is to the family, to the podcast family, who's our new Twitter master.
To John Amos, two things. One, thank you for doing the podcast. And two, damn.
You were kicking yourself because you didn't get to that. Our researcher, Paul Rayburn, is here with us. Now, this is interesting. Occasionally we get requests from listeners, why don't you do this kind of show? Why don't you do that kind of show? A guy named Wally Sizniak, I hope I'm getting his name right, wrote me.
That sounds like a Groucho Marx character.
Professor Sizniak. He wrote me on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and he said, "Why don't you guys do a Bond episode?" And I thought, is there a reason for us doing a Bond
Yeah.
episode out of the blue? So I just Googled. I was
It
like,
never stopped
No.
us
Is that
before.
Gary U.S. Bonds?
no, James Bond. I was looking for a reason to do a James Bond episode, and I stumbled onto November 11th, which was this week, apparently is James Bond's birthday. The character was born in 1920. Did you know this?
I did not know this.
Yes. So I thought, well, there you go. There's a birthday. There's a reason to do this.
Now, James Bond was actually based on a real live character.
I believe he was. You mean the name? How he named the character?
Yeah. Well, not the name, but there was actually some secret agent
Right.
or spy
Right.
who was doing these things.
Well,
And-
Ian Fleming lived in that world.
Oh, yeah.
The creator of Bond.
So I
right.
think
Yeah.
it was based on a real person. Look that up.
All right,
Make
Paul.
yourself fucking useful. You come in here, I'm still wondering what your
You know,
point is.
what do you
on
pay the
this
guy?
show.
I don't mind you're asking that. My problem is I don't have an answer.
All right, well, we can
Look
fill.
it up. Look up who the real live James Bond is.
I have
The
a sort of
namesake,
answer.
apparently, the story
What?
is
You have what?
I have a sort of answer.
he's got an answer. Frankie's got an answer.
So there's an NBC show called Timeless. I don't know if you've seen this thing now.
I've heard of it.
It's like a time travel, and they got to go.
Okay.
There's this big chase through time. There was an episode where they end up in Germany, and they stumble upon I guess a soldier, and it's Ian Fleming.
Oh, I
So
saw that advertised.
Yes. So apparently he was at some point, because it's based a lot on actual stuff. So from what I'm to understand is he was actually an agent himself, and a lot of his stories are based on his own actual events.
But I think there was yet another one.
Interesting.
So there's a
Yes.
Wikipedia entry called Inspirations for James Bond.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Believe it or not. So many names have been suggested. The code number 007 referred to the breaking of a World War I German diplomatic code,
That's cool.
Oh,
which is cool. And some of Bond's activities replicate those of Ian Fleming himself. Let's see. So there's lists of people and no real clear evidence that any
so it
particular
could have
person,
been
but
a-
it could have
So
been all.
he was
could
a
have been all-
composite of
a pastiche.
Yeah, a pastiche.
Yes.
An amalgam, if you will.
an amalgam
a
in the middle.
conglomerate.
Amalgam in the middle.
Yes.
So here's some fun James Bond trivia. For when in previous episodes we've talked about Matt Helm,
Well,
and we've talked
most
about.
importantly, there were two Jewish Bond villains.
Oh, and that's we've established one. I know
Yes.
on the show, which was go ahead.
Joseph Wiseman.
Dr. No.
As Dr. No.
And who was the second one?
This is
Herschel
interesting.
Bernardi?
Yeah. No, Arnold Stang.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. and then of course the one where Alan King.
I would have killed to see Alan King as a Bond villain.
The other one is Yaphet Kotto,
Oh well, yes.
who converted
That's
to
right.
Judaism.
That's right. We covered that with John Amos.
Yes.
Yeah, Kananga in Live and Let Die.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What's the worst Bond villain death? When he inflates.
Oh,
He inflates and explodes. The day after we record this, by the way, and I'm sorry that I know these kind of things, that they're at my fingertips, but Yaphet Kotto's birthday is tomorrow.
oh. So
there
this
you go.
is the day after.
Everybody knows
so
that.
Happy belated birthday, Yaphet Kotto.
Actors once considered for the Bond role.
Okay,
Go ahead.
there was Adam West.
That's who told us that himself.
Adam West.
Right.
Oh God. I have the other ones right. Oh God.
Well, somebody we talk about on this show a lot, a Brit who always played villains and monsters.
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee.
He wound up playing a villain.
He did. He played Scaramanga.
Yes.
The man with a golden gun.
Yes.
Yeah. Other actors considered for Bond include Cary Grant, who was probably too old and
Oh yeah.
right near retirement. I think he made his last film. And
I mean, when he was young, he would have been a great
yes,
Bond.
Patrick McGowan,
who later on
Secret Agent Man,
Yeah.
and then the Prisoner.
Here's a man who leads a life of danger.
You had
Great
to say it.
I know.
Everyone he meets is a stranger.
I love that one.
With every move you make, another heart you break. chances are chance you that you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. Well, they take away. They're giving you a number and they take away your name.
With apologies to Johnny Rivers.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing when Johnny Rivers sang boom bee boom bee boom bee boom bee.
You know, on the subject of misheard lyrics, as a kid, I thought that was Secret Asian Man. It was not a show about Jack
I
Sue.
have a maybe deceptively easy trivia question.
Hit
We
us,
talked
kid.
about the people who were considered.
Sure.
How about just naming all the actors who played James Bond?
Oh, well, I think the
All right.
first
I
actor...
think I have them all here.
Oh,
So,
David Nelson?
yeah, Nelson is his last name. Why is his first name jumping out of my head?
I thought it was...
He's the guy that's in The Shining.
It's...
Nelson. It is Nelson.
Casino Royale, the TV
Barry
movie.
Nelson.
Barry Nelson.
Barry Nelson.
Jesus, Frank.
That was
Thinking of-
Casino Royale, the TV version.
Right,
Is
that's
that
right.
right? Casino
Yeah, he
Royale.
was the first Bond.
All right, then who played? Then the next Casino Royale, the funny one we were talking about.
Well, there was Woody
There were a
and
bunch
well,
of them old
Niven.
claiming.
David Niven.
David Niven.
Yeah.
And then
Now,
Woody Allen.
Here's a name I
Peter
don't know,
Sellers.
although I saw the story. On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
George Lazenby,
George Lazenby.
who's still alive, and we want him for the show.
one of,
Yes.
one of those people that only you guys know.
Come on.
In Her Majesty's Secret Service, Donald Pleasance, not Donald Pleasance, is it Donald Pleasance is the villain?
Yeah.
And I think that's where they got the idea for Dr. Evil.
For the cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also like the scar going
Right.
down the face.
Right, but isn't Mike Myers doing Lorne Michaels?
Yeah,
when he's doing.
it's a Lorne Michaels voice
Right,
and
right.
mannerisms.
Right.
But the look like Donald Pleasance.
Right.
So
You have
the
the other ones would be Timothy Dalton and Roger Moore and Sean,
keep
Sean
going, go in order.
Connery
So Timothy Dalton, right? Yeah, that's
and
right.
then
There's
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, Sean Connery, and
Of course, Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
And, you know, I heard George Lazenby was, like, attacked for years, and it's made out to be, that movie bombed severely, and they fired
It's pretty
him.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard, actually, maybe the dumbest move of his whole life, they asked him. They wanted him back to be James Bond, and he didn't want to do it.
Right, and then they went to Moore, who I think had been considered earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And he played the Saint.
Oh, yes.
Roger Moore. So he had a
And
whole secret
Roger
agent
Moore was
thing.
also in that TV show with Tony Curtis.
The Persuaders.
Ah, yes.
The BBC show.
Yes.
You remember that show?
Yeah.
That was a wild show.
Yeah.
Did we get them all?
We got him.
Are you counting the comedians in
And
Casino
I
Royale?
remember on the
I-
Persuaders, Roger Moore and Tony Curtis are in a hotel lobby.
Yeah.
And the woman behind the desk goes over the loudspeaker, paging Bernie Schwartz.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, that was
It's a great
Tony-
inside joke.
Tony's real name.
The other thing I have actors here who were considered, the rest of that list would be Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds, can't imagine a non-Brit, Tom Jones, Liam Neeson, your favorite,
Oh, yeah.
Sam Neill and Hugh Grant, and I guess Will Smith, according to this, and according to BuzzFeed. And I know they were recently considering Idris Elba.
Idris, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in everything now.
He is in everything.
Do you want to run through the cast of...
Idris Elba is the actress from Dracula. Who
The same
died.
woman. Yeah, same
Idris
person.
Elba.
Same person. What do you want to run through,
the
Paul?
cast of the Goofy Casino Royale.
Well, it was a
How many
great
can you get
cast.
here?
Oh, my God. It was unbelievable.
So Woody Allen, we
Yeah,
mentioned, David
yeah.
Niven,
Yeah.
Ursula Andress, Peter
Right.
Sellers,
William Holden.
Ursula Andress was in Dr. No.
Orson Welles,
Oh, yes.
Yes.
John Huston.
Who was also one of the directors.
John Huston, and as some of these start to get more, Deborah Carr,
Sure.
Joanna Pettit,
I know the
yes.
name.
it is Dahlia Lavi. There seem to be a lot of women in this movie. Jacqueline Bisset, Barbara Boucher, Jean-Paul
Oh, and
Belmondo.
Jacqueline Bisset's voice was dubbed in.
No shit.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Why?
For some reason, they didn't like her voice, but yeah, I think her voice was dubbed in that movie.
We don't want to, we could spend the rest of the episode on this, but William Holden, Charles Boyer, George
I
Raft.
know. It's incredible.
amazing.
And let's not forget, they've got guns and knives. We're fighting for our lives. Have no fear. James Bond is here. He's gonna save the world at Casino Royale.
Nice
That's
work.
almost as good as Goldfinger.
The
Not quite.
Yeah.
But
The
But
music's
see,
good.
The opening music where
Yeah.
they play that,
Yeah.
it's one of the greatest openings ever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got, of course, Herb Alpert.
Herb Alpert. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with that horn going da 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 da.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great theme.
Oh, it's
The
unbelievable.
movie really falls apart quickly.
Yeah, the movie is a complete mess.
Yeah.
One person didn't know what. I don't think they knew from scene to scene what the other scene was. And
Well, there were 4 directors.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
at least 4.
and Peter Sellers
Right.
walked out on the movie.
Yeah.
And but boy, that opening theme, Burt Reynolds being played by Herb Alpert. You
so
can't get
listeners
better.
should get the DVD, play the theme, and turn the damn thing off before
Exactly.
it goes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years. Here's some more fun Bond trivia that I found on this BuzzFeed article. Stuntman Bob Simmons is actually the figure who appears in the opening gun barrel sequence for the first 3 Bond movies.
Oh,
It's actually not Connery. Here's a good one you guys will enjoy. The 5 pilots flying the planes in Pussy Galore's Flying Circus in Goldfinger are actually men in blonde wigs. That's a good one. Did you know that?
oh,
That's kind of ahead of its
great.
time.
Yeah. Here's one. Richard Keel, who played Jaws. Love Richard Keel.
Oh, yeah.
I wish he'd still been here. We'd have him on the
he would
show.
have been great.
He could only keep his metal teeth in his mouth for about a half a minute at a time, and the chain that he bites through in The Spy Who Loved Me was made of licorice. Now, here's one, Gil, that
Yeah.
I'm not sure you would know or not know. Sammy Davis filmed a deleted cameo for Diamonds Are Forever.
Did not know that.
According to BuzzFeed, he was at the casino playing roulette.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You didn't have that, Mr.
I
Researcher.
did not.
Once again, what the fuck are you doing here?
I thought I could count on Frank at least in
Yeah,
these times
yeah.
of trouble, but apparently
Boy.
not.
Nah. You can't count on the Red Cross at this point.
See what you can find us about Sammy's cameo.
All right,
about
Sammy
Diamonds
Cammy.
in Diamonds Are Forever, which has I think that's the one with Crispin Glover's father.
Oh.
Bruce Glover as one of the heavies.
Oh.
Do you remember the 2 guys?
Oh, yeah.
With the flaming the shish kebab.
Oh.
They deliver the room
and
service.
one of the villains from a Bond film, well, I mean, like a henchman, was Robert Shaw.
Well, of course, yeah, and from
in
Russia with
Russia
Love.
with Love.
And then, of course, there's your personal favorite henchman,
Oh,
Nick Nack.
Knick-knack. Oh, yeah. It was yes.
How could we forget?
Yeah. And, well, that's obviously where Mike Myers got the idea
Mini-Me.
of a mini-me.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So there's a different description of the Sammy Davis cameo here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Uh-oh.
I got before Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd
That's right.
murder Shady Tree.
One of those is Crispin Glover's dad.
There was a scene with Sammy Davis Jr. It says before, and that was right at the beginning of the movie, wasn't it?
I don't know why they snipped it out.
Yeah, Sammy Davis.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
don't know.
Interesting.
I think because he sang the All in the Family theme during the movie. And they didn't see how that matched.
Well, they were in the desert. You try to do a soft shoe in the desert, I think, and it just didn't.
Here's another good one. Stuntman Bill Cumming, I love this, was paid a $450 bonus to jump into Largo's shark-infested pool in Thunderball.
Oh, my God.
It's like, here you go.
Yeah.
There's sharks in the pool, but here's $450.
Yeah.
Jump in there, you bastard.
I think Gilbert would have done it for half
I
that.
think,
probably.
yeah, absolutely.
I would have done it for lunch. Yeah.
Here's another one. From Dr. No, this article only goes up to Quantum of Solace, so I apologize. But from Dr. No to Quantum of Solace, James Bond has killed 352 people and slept with 52 women. Same as Gilbert.
Yeah.
So that's some fun. That's some fun James Bond trivia. I also want to bring up. This is also fun. Roger Moore apparently suffered from something called. You know this? Have you heard this
Wait,
trivia?
no.
He suffered from something called hopulophobia. Hoplophobia, a fear of
I liked all his cowboy
Hopalong,
movies.
hoplophobia.
Yeah.
Fear of Hopalong
Hopalong phobia.
I'm probably mispronouncing it. It was a fear of firearms, which
Oh, my God.
dated back to a childhood accident where he was shot in the leg by his brother with an air rifle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Now, who was now I get this from my wife, Elizabeth, but I only have half the information.
yeah.
Roger Moore was in one of them. He was opposite a well-known model, I think, who later complained
there
that she
was
couldn't
Maud
stand.
Adams.
She couldn't stand kissing this old guy. That it was just gross and
Oh,
disgusting.
it might have been Tanya Roberts in A View to a Kill.
That could have. I mean, that might be.
Tanya Roberts was a Jew.
There you go.
Oh, she's still alive.
Well,
She's
now-
still a Jew.
Now, next week, I want you to come in with a list of all the Jewish Bond girls. Since you did the Jewish
Barbara Bach.
Barbara Bach. Yeah.
Now,
Spy Who Loved Me.
here's my favorite Bond song.
Okay. Hit us.
Oh, baby, now you got someone who stands out by your side. Oh, baby, now you got someone on who you can rely. And at night, you'll never be lonely. When I put my sights on you, got a license to kill.
Ooh,
and you
man.
know
Obscure.
I'm going straight for your heart. Got a license to kill. Got a license to kill. To anybody tries to tear us apart.
Wow. You
That-
picked a Dalton movie.
Yes, and it was. I remember also what I like at the beginning. There was I think it was this Chinese Playboy centerfold that they have basically jumping on a trampoline, looking like her silhouette looks naked, but they'll do these gun sounds and she will throw her arms back and she's been hit. So talk about sexist stuff. Here you not only are jerking off about a naked
for
Asian
yourself.
model on a trampoline, but taking some weird joy in her being shot to
Well,
death.
all I can say is thank God we have you, Gilbert, to point out these instances
Yes.
of horrible sexism.
Did you know that Naked Asian Model was the B-side to Secret Asian Man?
I can't understand why that song never took off somehow. License to Kill.
License to Kill. Yeah, that was the first of the...
It was
maybe the second one.
It was some
This one.
female black singer who sang that. Look that up.
License to Kill.
License to Kill.
Yeah, the
License to
Dalton
Kill
films don't stay with me
No.
very well. They were trying to go grittier after
Yeah.
Moore because the Moore films had jumped the shark. I mean,
Yeah.
Moonraker and
Then there
View to a
was
Kill. He was 72.
Yeah,
They-
and he was just like comedy at that point.
Yeah, with Christopher Walken as the heavy in A
yes.
View to a Kill. But since you
And another person who was scared of firearms, I heard, was Edward G. Robinson.
no kidding.
And I heard in Little Caesar when he fires the gun, they had trouble because he kept shutting his eyes because he got scared.
But did he have hopalophobia?
Hey, he played an Indian. And
Okay, you put us on a good one, Gilbert.
Go ahead, go.
Okay, so initially 2 people were asked to compose the theme: Eric Clapton
Wow.
and Vic Flick. Do we know who Vic
Flick.
is? Vic Flick.
Can't
Were asked to
place
write and
him.
produce the theme song. You can hear a guitar riff in the beginning that was played by Flick. But
I know Bella
the,
Fleck.
the song was performed and written by the same person, Gladys Knight.
Oh, Gladys Knight.
That's
Gladys
who it is.
Knight.
I know Tina Turner did one of the Brosnan themes,
That's a good
but
one.
that's
now.
good, Gilbert.
Did Della Reese ever do it?
No, Whitman Mayo did one.
The end credits featured a
On a
song
tambourine.
by Patti LaBelle at the end of the movie.
So they had Patti
They
LaBelle. They
had-
brought up
they
the
had-
heavy hitters.
They really did.
They had Patti LaBelle and
They really
Gladys
did.
Knight for that one.
One of the Bond themes was sung by Scatman Crothers.
I didn't know that. All right, since you brought up the Bond
And I
theme,
think Scoey Mitchell sung the.
also he was the center square on Black Hollywood Squares. Here's a little trivia. We'll take us out with a little trivia
Yes,
here
okay.
because we're running off at the mouth here on this one. What was the only Bond theme to top the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, was it Paul McCartney?
No, you would think. That would be
Yeah.
my guess.
I would go with Goldfinger.
You'd both be mistaken. It was A View to a Kill by Duran Duran. How about that?
Oh,
the last,
wow.
the last of the Roger Moores.
I thought it would have been, what was that name of the Paul McCartney?
Live and Let Die.
Live and
Live
Let
and Let
Die.
Die. Yeah, that's a good guess.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good guess.
What writer, most famous for children's books, wrote the screenplay for You Only Live Twice?
Was it that guy who did Willy Wonka?
You are correct,
Ah!
sir. Roald Dahl.
Now, I heard Roald Dahl was an anti-Semite. Yeah.
That's a whole different episode.
And it stars Gene Wilder. But,
Frankie, can you put down on the ledger there that we're going to do an all anti-Semite episode?
yeah. See, now, with Frank here, it's only one anti-Semite.
Okay, here's one. Here's what you're just giving me segues. Here's one you'll love. Israel's 1976 operation to rescue hostages at Entebbe Airport in Uganda was named after which Bond movie?
I've heard this.
Operation.
Oh, God. You're the one with the iPhone.
Operation
What the fucking...
GoldenEye.
No. Would have been before GoldenEye.
Oh, God. Operation...
Well, I don't have to look it up.
1976 was the year of the operation, so long before GoldenEye. Operation Thunderball.
Operation
wow.
Thunderball.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
And one of the Entebbe movies playing...
Yaphet Kotto.
Yaphet Kotto, the Jew himself. Yaphet Kotto.
6 degrees of Yaphet Kotto.
I think Curly of the three... no, he wasn't in any of the Bond films that I know of.
Are you sure?
This is the end of you, Mr. Bond. Knock, knock, knock. And I think as a child, he got, it was a shotgun or something. He shot himself he got shot in the leg or in the foot. And they say if you watch those movies, he limps.
Really?
Well, yeah.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah.
This episode is packed with information. I got 2 more questions and we're going to jump.
The shark.
What?
Yes.
We jumped the shark. What unique body feature does Christopher Lee's villain Scaramanga possess in The Man with the Golden Gun?
It's something with his private parts, isn't it?
More or less. Not really. A little above.
Jesus.
He has a superfluous third nipple. As does
okay.
Krusty the Clown, by the way.
Oh,
Krusty the
that's
Clown.
right.
On The Simpsons.
Well, there's a third nipple episode coming up. Maybe
There
we
you
could
go.
do that.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of The Simpsons, there's a wonderful Bond parody with Albert Brooks playing a villain called Hank Scorpio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember the season, but latter day Simpsons, and it's wonderful. 2 more. Which Bond actress won a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress?
Denise Richards.
Nicely done. And I'll take you out with this one. Crooner Wayne Newton played crooked televangelist Professor Joe Butcher in which Bond movie?
God, I remember, and I don't even remember who played Bond in the movie.
Now, you really should know after that song you just sang.
Oh, License to Kill?
Correct.
See, I'm still jerking off over that Asian centerfold who was shot.
Which one was that? Which movie?
License to Kill.
License to Kill.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you, Timothy Dalton played a good villain in The Rocketeer,
Oh, yes.
which is
Yes.
another good trivia question. What does Timothy Dalton have in common with Peter O'Toole?
Oh, both Jewish?
This is taken on a decided... No, they both played characters based on Errol Flynn.
Oh, my God, yes,
How about
yes. We just talked
we
about
just talked
that.
to Norman Steinberg about
Oh, yes.
my favorite year.
My favorite year.
So there you go.
And yeah, and with Dalton and the Rocketeer, they bring out that rumor that Errol Flynn was a Nazi spy.
A Nazi spy. Yeah, based on the comic book. So there you go, Wally Cisniak.
And they had a guy in a Rondo Hatton mask
Correct.
in the movie. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, we talked about The Rocketeer on a previous episode. I recommended it back when we were doing movies.
Rondo Hatton, I just saw in some movie recently. Well, it wasn't a recent movie, but he he had a voice like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. He was in a movie with Mickey Dolenz' mother. Mickey Dolenz' mother.
Oh,
we figured that out when
jeez.
when Mickey was here. So Wally Cisniak, thank you. You got your damn Bond episode.
Yes,
That was fun.
that was
Great suggestion.
Yeah,
So-
that really was.
I'm out of bullets. Want to take it out?
Okay, this has been Gilbert and Frank's Amazing Colossal Obsessions.
Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Wally.
Here we go.